What's going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I talk about my top 10 essential buys, must buys, recommended buys for collected editions in the month of September of 2021. So, let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Now, before getting started, hit that like button, please. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share the video. Let others know where you get your, your monthly budget meeting. So these are just my top 10 list, and I like to just limit myself to 10 recommended books for people that have never heard of these books, or sometimes it's just recommended for me so I don't forget. So, yeah, this is all, I will break it down by week, and I'll put the week somewhere down here and let you know when the book comes out, when it's due out. However, there could be some delay, so always keep that in mind. As a matter of fact, some of my recommended buys from August and July have made it into this month already. So I'm not going to repeat myself, because you already know that I've recommended things like What If, right? And Preacher Omnibus Volume 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is my list. I would love to know what yours are. Leave those comments down below if you were to limit yourself to 10, or 5, or 3, or just 1. Kicking it off on September 1st with Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 5. Of course, I'm recommending this 100%. Collecting issues 143 to 180, annuals 10 and 11, and the Nova crossover issue number 12 that was written by Marv Wolfman. You had a changing of the guard here. You had Jerry Conway. You had Ross Andrews' artwork, who I really enjoy Ross Andrews' artwork. I've done an overview of this particular omnibus. Both covers are due out that day, and yes, despite of how people feel about the spine, I think it's the first time we're getting a volume 5 of an omnibus from one of the main characters, one of the main Marvel lines, outside of things like Conan the Barbarian. So of course I am recommending that. And recommending Vault of Horror, EC Archives Vault of Horror. I recommended Tales from the Crypt, and holy crap, that thing sold out. So, hey, good job, everybody. I think I do need to email Dark Horse back to see what the status is on the reprint of those. But I think they said that they were getting more of those books. So, collecting issues 12 through 17, but this is really the beginning. This is where everything began for Vault of Horror. So, you had Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, and Haunt of Fear. And it was really hard to choose between Vault of Horror and Shock and Suspense stories this month. But I had to go with Vault of Horror because this particular one has artwork by Johnny Craig, Wally Wood, Harvey Kurtzman, Bill Gaines, of course, doing a lot of the writing in here. So if you've never read this stuff, this is some of the best comics out there. Some of the best things you can put in your library at home. They're amazing. Lady Mechanica. So not that deep of a story, but I really enjoy this artwork. I love this setting. It's steampunk, and I know it's been overused and overplayed, but I really like Joe Benitez's version, like his vision of this character in this Victorian fantasy world. But it collects issues 0 through 5 of Lady Mechanica, which were oversized, so they're not your standard single issue sizes. They're a little bit bigger. But now Image is printing these, so that's good because the first, I think the first 2 were out of print for a while. So now hopefully Image will keep them in print. Spider-Man by McFarlane. I know I'm not the biggest fan of the writing in this one, but it's Todd McFarlane, and the last time he drew Spider-Man before he went over to Image and did Spawn. Collecting issues 1 through 14 and 16, and then X-Force number 4. Number 15 is skipped because that one is the one that's written and drawn by Eric Larson before he eventually took over the book. But, of course, I'm recommending this one. This, like I said, even with the writing that wasn't up to Spider-Man standards, at least for me, even as a teenager, it was the last hurrah of Todd McFarlane on Spider-Man, and there's some amazing artwork. Plus, a team up with Wolverine, love it, and then of course the crossover with X-Force number 4, which is included in there. Hayao Miyazaki. I had no idea this book was coming out. It's just called Hayao Miyazaki hardcover, and this book looks absolutely stunning. I have all his Studio Ghibli artworks. I am missing Sherlock Hound. So, anybody out there got Sherlock Hound, The Art of Sherlock Hound, holler at me. 288 pages. It is a hardcover. It's printed by Delmonico Books. So, this goes through a lot of the art from My Neighbor Totoro all the way to The Wind Rises. So, it's interesting because it's just Hayao Miyazaki's work. but on his movies. Because as I'm sure as some of you all know, not every Studio Ghibli movie is done by Hayao Miyazaki. But, of course, I'm recommending that. Love that artwork. Love his movies. Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus. This is the new printing. In case you missed it out the first time, don't miss out on it. If you want, like, I really enjoyed it. It was a slow burn. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen stories were okay, but man, by the time you get to New Gods and the Forever People, I really enjoy this book. It's a huge book. It's $150. So this collects Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, 133 to 139, and 141 to 148. Actually, those later stories were a little bit better. New Gods 1 through 11, Forever People 1 through 11, DC graphic novel number 4, The Hunger Gods, and a story from New Gods number 6, which is the 1984 series. So in case you're not a fan of the absolute format, or in case you want to read everything all in one sitting, this is the book for you. Now, from Rumiko Takahashi, Mao. Her new series. One of my favorite mangaka. I love everything this lady has done. Whether it's Maison Ikkoku, Ranma, Inuyasha, Mermaid Saga. I really hope they do the remake theater. They reprint those books. They're wonderful. But this is her new series. So I'm really excited. Just so excited about this one. It's set back in 19th century Japan. And it's about this exorcist named Mao. That's all I need to know. Just throw in Rumiko Takahashi, baby. I'm in. You don't need to say anything else. Gideon Falls. Of course, I'm recommending this one. This is the hardcover edition. So, collecting issues 1 through 16 of Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino and Dave Stewart, who does the colors on the book series. So, this is book 1. So, I'm sure there's going to be a second book. But this collects the first 16 issues of that series. And it's about a priest who gets sent to this little town. He keeps seeing visions of this red barn. And then we have another part of the story which takes place in the city. It was a little bit of a slow burn, but I really ended up liking volumes 2 and 3. Hellboy, the box set. So this is the Omnibus box set. Of course, I'm recommending this. So this is the first 4 Omnis. So collecting Seed of Destruction, Strange Places, The Wild Hunt, and Hellboy in Hell are all together in this one slipcase edition. $99.96. So of course you have Mike Mignola's artwork in here, Duncan Fregedo, Richard Corbin, Gary Gianni, John Byrne. Of course, because that's where he first appeared in the Next Men pages, but all of it collected in here. And as I mentioned in my upcoming collected editions video, I think this is the best way to read Hellboy. If I were to make a reading order, man, I think I would go the Omnibus route, even though his artwork needs to be in that beautiful library edition. And to wrap up the month of September, from Brenna Thumbler Sheets, collector's edition hardcover. My wife got me this because she saw it on my buddy Gio's a Weekend Geekdom's video. He did a video review of it, and she bought it for me for Christmas. I read it all in one sitting, and it became one of my favorite books that I read last year. So if you want to go back and watch that video, that's awesome, but I could just tell you about it. Go back and watch the video. It's a good book. It's about a young girl coping with her mother's death and meeting a boy that has crossed over into the other world after he died and coming back as a sheet, like a stereotypical sheet, like a ghost. But it's wonderful. The colors are beautiful and absolutely must buy. This one is by Oni Press. And when these books come out, check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And those were my top 10 suggested books for the month of September. Again, some of these books may move into October. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 10 would be and which ones out of my list you would take out. It's okay to take out things like Spider-Man, but don't come at me with the Hayao Miyazaki or Vault of Horror. Come on, man. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, everyone, stay healthy and stay safe out there. Much love.